Hello and welcome. Our digital devices are, well, they're pretty much central to our lives now, aren't they? But have you ever really stopped to consider what they're actually doing to our bodies? In this explainer, we're going to break down the very real physiological toll of all our screen habits, from our eyes all the way to our brains.
So let me just start with a question. Does this number look familiar to you? Because for a lot of us, this is how much time we spend staring at a screen every single day. 10 hours. It's a pretty shocking figure when you see it laid out like that, and it is having some pretty serious effects on our health.
So, here's what we're going to cover today. We'll start by looking at the scale of our digital overload. Then, we'll dive into the strain on our eyes, the toll on our bodies, and the impact on our brains. And, most importantly, we'll wrap up with how you can actually start reclaiming your health.
Okay, let's dive right in. Your smartphone, it's an incredible tool, right? But its constant use has these hidden costs. We're just so plugged in all the time that we often don't even notice the gradual toll it's taking on us.
So the first and probably most immediate casualty of all this screen time is our vision. If you've ever finished a long day of work or just endless scrolling with tired, blurry, or dry eyes, you are definitely not alone. And there's actually a name for this.
It's called digital eye strain. The definition is surprisingly simple, right? Especially when you think about how widespread this problem is. It's basically just the physical discomfort you feel after 2 or more hours in front of a screen, which is something millions of us are doing every single day.
Okay, so let's move on and see how this problem actually builds beyond just our eyes. Because the way we hold our devices, it forces our bodies into these really unnatural positions. And the effects? Well, they're starting to show up in a very real and often painful way. And this brings us to a truly modern problem, text neck. I know, it sounds a little silly, but it is a serious issue. Just tilting your head forward to look at your phone can place up to 60 pounds of pressure on your spine. Think about that. That's like carrying a small child around on your neck for hours a day. That's pretty much what we're all doing. And let's be clear, this isn't just about a temporary sore neck. Over time, this constant strain can lead to chronic pain, damaged nerves, and even permanent changes to your posture. It's like a slow-motion injury we're inflicting on ourselves, day in and day out.
The physical strain is pretty clear, but what about the invisible effects? Let's turn to what's happening inside our heads. Specifically, how our screens are kind of rewiring our ability to sleep and to concentrate.
The main culprit in this whole neurological disruption is something you've probably heard of: blue light. Every single one of our digital screens, our phones, our tablets, our laptops, they all pump it out in huge quantities.
And here's the problem. Blue light basically mimics daylight. So when you're scrolling in bed at night, your screen is blasting this powerful signal to your brain that says, hey, it's the middle of the day, stay awake. This messes with melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep, and it just completely throws your natural cycle out of whack.
And this creates a really vicious cycle. Poor sleep from all that screen time leads to lowered focus and decreased productivity the next day. But when we cut back on our screen time, the benefits are just as clear. Our focus improves, we get more done, and our sleep quality can seriously skyrocket. The difference is night and day, literally.
This quote really sums it all up, doesn't it? None of these issues exist in a vacuum. The eye strain, the neck pain, the poor sleep, the lack of focus, they are all connected. They're all symptoms of the same core problem. Our relationship with our screens is just way out of balance. Now, I know that all might sound a bit grim, but I do have good news. We are not powerless here. This final section is all about simple, actionable steps you can take to fight back and reclaim your health from this digital overload.
And that's really the key. You don't need to throw your phone away and go live in a remote cabin. Unless you want to, of course. But really, small, consistent changes in your daily habits can make a huge difference.
So here's the game plan. It's simple. Protect your eyes by taking regular breaks, look away from the screen. Mind your posture by trying to hold your phone up at eye level. Guard your sleep by putting your phone away at least an hour before bed. And reclaim your focus by setting designated no-phone times during your day. These are simple, but they're incredibly powerful.
So, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this whole explainer, it's this. It's about progress, not perfection. You have the power to lessen these negative effects. Every small, conscious choice you make to put down your phone is a huge win for your physical and mental well-being.
And that just leaves us with one final question to think about.
After everything we've just covered, from digital eye strain to text neck to blue light, what's the one small change you'll commit to making starting today? Just think about it, because that one little change could be the start of a much healthier relationship with all the technology.
Subscribe for more healthy tips. Your brain and body will thank you. Hit subscribe now.